What's up everybody, it's Sean here today to give you guys a review of the Salehe Bembury collaboration with New Balance on this 990 V2 in the Sand Be the Time colorway. Today's video is brought to you by Heffelux. When it comes to sneakers, comfort is king, and when you buy a shoe and you find out it's uncomfortable, one of the easiest ways to make it more comfortable is by swapping the insole. So that's where Heffelux comes into play. They sell eTPU insoles, which really is the same material you'll find inside Adidas Boost. And if you look on their website, which I've linked down below in the description box, you'll see they sell a variety of different insoles that fits anyone's preference in terms of insole density and the cushioning setup. So if you guys are in the market to upgrade your insoles, be sure to check out Heffelux and use the code SEANGO at checkout to get 15% off your entire purchase. So this right here is the latest collaboration between designer Salehe Bembury with New Balance. Releasing first on his Be a Sponge website on December 8th, these are set for a wider release on New Balance's website on December 22nd. So the retail price for this shoe is $200 US or $275 here in Canada. The colorway for this shoe is Misty Rose, Terracotta, and Purple Passion, and the style code for this shoe is M990 SB2. So unlike his previous collaborations with New Balance, this 990 V2 is a made in USA pair, so that had a lot of New Balance heads super excited and very eager to pick these up. And just like his past collabs on the 2002 R and the 574 Yurt for example, this pair is also inspired by the outdoors and nature, specifically the coral pink sand dunes of southwestern Utah. So you'll see that for this pair they implement a wide array of materials, textures, and colors, which are supposed to mimic and represent what he saw in nature. So first things first, here's a quick look at the box, and this comes in this custom box which includes these scenic images in nature on all the different sides of the box. So you can see here it looks like a sunset, and then on the other side it looks like a cliffside, and then on this end of the box we have the nickname of the sneaker's release, which is Sand Be the Time. So taking a deep dive into this sneaker, starting things off with the toe box, you'll see here this is covered in this open style spacer mesh in this pink color. Right above this, in the middle, we have this aged or vintage looking brown leather, and then beneath this, we have this faded purple colored suede. Overlaid on the sides of the toe box, we have these reflective 3M silver hits, and then covering the front toe cap, we have this long-haired and shaggy pale pink colored suede. This same suede covers the entire mid-panel of the shoe, and then stitched on top of this, we have the chenille New Balance end logo in purple. The top two eyelets next to this are done in this gray colored TPU, and on the lateral side we have a tag hanging off with Salehe Bembury branding. And then underneath this, surrounding the top portion of the ankle collar area, we have more of that open style or spacer mesh. And then wrapping around the back of the shoe, we have more of that long-haired suede, and we have this oval shaped cutout in the middle, revealing this fingerprint pattern in purple. And then the top of the heel is covered in more of that aged and vintage looking brown leather. At the bottom of the heel, we have this grayish green colored TPU heel clip, which gives you added structure and support for the back end of the shoe. And then turning our attention back to the front, so in terms of laces, these come with 3 different lace options. The standard default lace is a flat style lace in pink, but they also give you this off-white colored lace, along with a pastel orange colored lace as well. But I was hoping for and kind of surprised that they didn't include a purple colored lace, which I've seen some people throw onto their pairs, and I think it looks really great. Underneath the laces, so the tongue is constructed out of that same open style spacer mesh, but we have this large leather overlay towards the top, and here we have 990 New Balance made in USA branding embroidered across. So the back of the tongue and the interior liner of the shoe, this is covered in this pink color textile, and just like most of your 990 V2s, the inner collar of this shoe is pretty thin and there's not too much padding within it. Moving on to the insoles, so these come with a foam lined insole, but it's covered in cork on the very top, which was a nice added touch. And stamped on the heel, we have both New Balance and Salehe Bembury co-branding. So the upper of the 990 V2 sits atop this chunky, absorbed foam midsole. So the midsole is painted in this burnt orange or light brown sort of shade, and just like all your other 990 V2s, the midsole shape has a very bulbous look to it towards the heel. Finally, turning this pair over to the bottom, so this outsole here is constructed out of a purple colored rubber. We have the circular cutout in the middle revealing the New Balance end logo, along with the New Balance word mark found on the heel of the medial side. So that breaks down the look and the construction of this shoe. And for those wondering about sizing, so I'm a true size 10, slightly on the wider side, and I usually wear a size 10 in most of my 990 V2s. So for this Salehe Bembury release, I picked these up in both a 9.5 and a 10 just to compare the sizing for you guys. And I have to say that this shoe fits a little bit more on the narrow and long side. So I'd say that if you have narrow feet, you can definitely get away with going a half size down, and even if your feet are standard width, if you like a really snug one-to-one fit, then you could go a half size down as well. But for everyone else that has a bit more of a wider foot, you should definitely stick true to size. Trying these on in the 9.5, the length of the shoe was great. There was roughly about a finger's width between the edge of the shoe and the top of my toe, but the width of the shoe was just way too snug for me. So because of that, I went with the size 10, which feels perfectly from a width perspective, and there is a little bit extra room lengthwise than I would prefer. There's about just under a thumb's width between the top of the shoe and the top of my toe, but I'd rather deal with the extra space lengthwise and not feel like my toes are crammed into this toe box. To give you guys a point of comparison, I also stick with the size 10 or true to size in other New Balance silhouettes like the 997, the 2002R, the 1906R, and a lot of the made in UK models like the 991, the 1500, and the 1530. And in comparison, I go a half size down in the majority of other made in USA models like the 990 V3, V4, V5, the 992, and the 993. Next up, in terms of the comfort, so the one thing about the 990 V2 compared to the V3 to 6 is that it's probably the least comfortable pair, not counting the V1 of course. Don't get me wrong, it's still going to be fine for just an everyday casual use shoe, but when I'm comparing it to those later models, it's noticeable that the cushioning setup underfoot feels more flat and firm, and there's not nearly as much of that squishiness and softness underfoot. Finally, in terms of the quality and the craftsmanship, so first off, material quality was just absolutely amazing. I love the variety of the materials used, and not only was there a wide variety, but the quality of all these materials were very top notch. So I came away feeling very impressed with the overall materials, and from a build and craftsmanship standpoint, the stitch job was good, and basically the whole upper of the shoe I thought was good. I just had a lot of glue stains and dried glue in this midsole area that was connected to the upper, but that's just a minor nitpick. Overall, this is a very solid build and release from New Balance. So with all that out of the way now, let's toss these on feet. I'll lace them up and I'll show you guys how these look. So this Sand Be the Time 990 V2 just adds to Salehe Bembury's incredible portfolio with New Balance. In a sense, it's similar to those past collaborations in that he's able to adopt a theme from nature and execute it so well on a New Balance shoe and unsafe color choices. But that's part of the reason why I really like this shoe. The combination of these pinks, the purples, the silvers, and these light browns, it's not really a color combination I would expect to like, but it works really, really well in this release. So let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think about the Salehe Bembury New Balance 990 V2. For anyone watching, were you guys able to grab these for retail? Did you take an L and pay resale for these? Or did you just pass on them altogether if they're not really your thing? If you guys like this video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet. Be sure to follow me on Instagram at sgo8, check out my Twitter page at sean.go, and visit my website at seango.ca. So until next time, thank you everyone for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you guys all in the next one.